This is Heather. Heather is Heather's the owner, and she runs the whole yoga studio. She's got some great teachers, and we were just going to talk a little bit about the yoga studio and yoga.
Well, I just fell in love with it as soon as I tried it. I met a beautiful young woman who came and was my roommate, and I was so attracted to her energy and the way she moved and the way she stood, and I just was so intrigued by her that I wanted what she had, and I didn't quite know what it was until I started to take her classes. She was a yoga teacher, and I didn't realize how respected she was in the yoga community. She just really had a lot of years of training behind her, and I learned a lot from her, and I fell in love with it. I just love how free I felt in my body and how good it felt.
So that made you decide that you wanted to be a yoga instructor yourself?
Absolutely. I wanted to be around yoga and in the classrooms and offering back what I have received from it, which is so many benefits.
In your yoga studio, you do have standards as far as the instructors have to have certain educational requirements and things like that. Is that true?
Absolutely. I want them to have either the 200 or 500 hour certification, so they're not just some trainings are just, like a weekend or two.
Right.
And you can go teach anywhere. So those standards are getting improved more and more. But now they have what is called the Yoga Alliance, and what I do is I make sure that those hours would be approved through the Yoga Alliance, and I make sure I get good teachers in that way. And we do have really wonderful teachers with good trainings and education, and they love it too. The passion is there. I think we've all kind of fallen in love with it and what it's done for our bodies and how much it's helped us.
Right.
It's just so awesome, so wonderful to feel this.
Tell me a little bit about the studio as far as, is it something that people can take classes right off the street if they've never done yoga before? Do they have to have experience? What is the so-called normal person who comes into the yoga studio?
The normal person is just your everyday person that comes in and says, you know what, I'm so tight, I'm not sure I can do this, but how can I try, or how can I get started? And we have a lot of classes for that type of person. The brand new yoga student, never done yoga, can barely bend over or is in all kinds of pain and that kind of thing. We have those types of people. Or just your average, I'm out of shape, how can I...
Want to get back in shape.
Exactly, get back into shape. And either those two people would go to that same beginner class and would benefit in their own way.
Right.
Would be catered to them.
Right.
So everybody's body is different. Everybody's got different energy levels, different flexibility levels, endurance levels, and so everybody's going to get a little something different that's going to nurture their bodies. And that's what's awesome about this. It's really a personal practice that you learn to develop here.
And the neat thing about here, as far as I understand it, you have like 8 different teachers, I think, something like that. And they teach different styles of yoga. It's not just like yoga. There's different styles, different disciplines of yoga. So the people who come here for yoga can get a different experience with different teachers. Is that right?
Absolutely. The basic style of physical yoga is called Hatha yoga, and there's many different styles of Hatha yoga. So we have a few of those styles here and the different levels of that. So if somebody wants to move a little faster, they'll want to take a vinyasa practice. If they want to hold the pose a little longer, maybe understand where their bones are and anatomically, and they might want to try the Anusara class. If they want a practice that's more on your back or on the floor, they may want to try Shivananda or the Yin Yoga. And then we have gentle and therapeutic. So really, I say come and try the class that's right for you.
Well, I know that the people that I take care of chiropractically, right across the hall there's your yoga studio, and a lot of people just naturally drift over, and I see such a huge difference. I have some people that I've been taking care of literally for years, and they're doing great chiropractically, they're nice and healthy, but once they start to do yoga, it's such a nice combination with their spinal alignment and getting the motion back into their spine. It really is amazing to see people that I thought were at at their height of health, and then they do yoga and they get even better.
So you notice when you adjust people?
When I adjust people,
yeah,
I notice their muscles are more balanced.
Amazing.
They definitely have better motion. Because one thing I like about yoga, as far as how it relates to chiropractic, is our spines and our skeletons, when they don't age well, they go into a forward posture. If you see an older person who's not aging well, they're never in a backward posture. They're always hunched over, they're always in a forward. The same as when somebody's in a lot of pain, even if they're young. They're hunched over. Yoga, a lot of yoga, not all of yoga obviously, but you're going into a back bend. You're reversing that hunched over, aged posture.
Forward head position.
Right. So a lot of the things in yoga naturally reverse some of the bad things that happen to the skeleton when people don't take care of themselves, or they're aging prematurely. You know, so many people have jobs at desks where they're hunched over all the time, or they're cooks or whatever. And yoga allows the body to go into the back bend, which we don't do normally.
I was a sloucher.
Right.
As a teenager and even as a young adult, and my back muscles now are so strong.
My work as a chiropractor, I'm leaning over the table all the time, and I find that when I go into yoga, hey, I'm doing something that I usually don't do, and I really find a benefit from it.
It reverses aging, really, because now you're going the opposite way.
Yes.
Instead of head going forward, it's lined up with the spine, and that's really true health.
Really, really good. Okay, well, thank you very much. This is great.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye.